Hey guys, so today's video is probably one of the more important ones for those men who are MGTOW but still want to get laid and use women for sex without getting used and abused themselves. I will sometimes talk about such topics because I am not a celibate MGTOW. I repeat, I am not celibate. I like sex and always have and always will. I realize there are a number of MGTOW who are completely happy doing their own thing and I truly respect that. However, for young men who are still interested in getting some pussy action on the side, this video will definitely teach you a number of ways how to deal with women you want to pump and dump. This is not a marriage or relationship guide. I will admit though that when I start seeing some women on the side, my work and free time drastically suffers. I get text messages daily from women wanting to talk to me, asking me how my day was, and frankly it gets really annoying quickly because like I said, they're time suckers. This guide was essentially inspired by the man himself, Tom Leykis. I am not taking credit for this guide, I simply want other men to know that it exists and use my video as a stepping stone to discover Tom Leykis for themselves. I literally can't stop listening to his podcast on YouTube. He has a lot of wisdom, interesting stories and talks to share about men who are going their own way, avoiding relationships and marriage but are still getting laid on the side. Here are some words about Tom Leykis. Tom Leykis is an American talk radio personality best known for hosting the Tom Leykis Show from 1994 to 2009 and April 2012 to the present. The show follows the hot talk format which brought Leykis much success, particularly in the Southern California radio market. Due to the provocative nature of the show, Leykis has often been described as a shock jock. The show's best known feature is Leykis 101, in which he teaches men how to get laid while spending the least amount of time, money and effort giving up on marriage and relationships. I will put up a link to Tom Leykis' show in the description. Anyway, let's check out the Leykis 101 guide. Number 1. Spend no more than $40 on a date. You work hard for it and you should keep it. Spending more won't get you laid anyway. Ideally, you should set up an after dinner date for drinks. As a MGTOW, I would also add from my own perspective, avoid paying for dates completely. If you want to pump and dump this girl, take her to a coffee shop. Women love Starbucks and other cafes. Coffee there is cheap, and while I discourage men paying for women, if you do have to pay, it's only $5 or $6 anyway. Number 2. Never date single mothers. You already know her stance on abortion, she won't have one. Don't risk paying child support, plus her kids will always be number 1 in her life and you will always be in the back burner. Why would you want to be the second place to some spoiled brat? They already have made a mistake once, twice or more. 3. If after 3 dates she won't have sex with you, get the fuck out of there. If you haven't got laid by the 3rd date, you're traveling down a friend's road and she's wasting your time. Leykis' 3-date rule is for guys who only want sex. They don't want a relationship. If you're looking for a relationship, then that rule doesn't apply to you. 4. Leave if a chick answers her cell phone during a date. Most likely she has set up a bogus emergency call to get out of the date early because she's not going to fuck you. Or she's talking to some other guy who gets priority over you. If she answers the phone and you get that vibe, excuse yourself to the restroom and leave her there. 5. No coffee dates, no lunch dates, but do try to go to her house. These events never lead to sex. You want alcohol involved or be alone with her. 6. There should be as little time as possible from drinking to banging. Don't detour to Denny's for breakfast or anything like that. She'll sober up and she won't want to sleep with you. 7. Thursday to Saturday is off limits for a girl unless it's a definite sex guarantee. This time is spent hanging out with your friends and having a great time. 8. Never answer your phone during the weekend. You want women to believe you are too busy out doing stuff. 9. Do not get into serious relationships until you have realized your personal dreams. Women are dream killers and will suck the life out of what you always wanted to do. As a MGTOW, I would suggest avoiding any long-term or serious relationships with a woman no matter how hot or nice she is. The best part of the relationship with most women is the first 3 months, tops. Obviously marriage is the last thing you want. 10. If you are 18 to 21, go for the experienced older women. Over 35 is a good start. Older women will love a young guy hitting on them and will show him the ropes. 11. Never bang any chick from work, unless you want to be fired. Lots of people have met at work and it worked out for them, but there are also lots of sexual harassment suits happening and you don't want that happening to you. 12. You are proud to be an asshole. Wear it like a badge. Tons of women seem to respect guys that act like jerks. If it's not true, then why the fuck are they running after bad boys? 13. Use a condom during every encounter, no exceptions. You don't want to catch STDs and you don't want to pay child support for 18 years. When you're done, get rid of the condom for good. Wrap it in toilet paper and flush it down the toilet. Some chicks are just crazy enough to get sperm out of the used condom in the bin to get pregnant. 14. The best chicks are the ones who aren't totally Americanized. Those girls are pretty much faithful, they're pretty hot, good in bed and will treat you well. The same rule applies to Australia, UK and Canada. 15. Try the best you can to make sure you don't bring the girl back to your place. You don't want her to know where you live after you pumped and dumped her. 16. Your income will reflect the quality of women you get. Strive high, don't settle, stay hungry. Girls upgrade all the time and guys should do the same. 17. Do not leave voicemails. Your number will show up on her caller ID and that will be enough to get her interest in many cases. 18. Show any way possible that you don't need her. Make her feel like she matters but she's easily replaceable. 19. Never call a chick twice in the same week. This was in the movie Swingers and Tom's played it before. 20. Don't discuss that you're a Leykis listener and follow his rules. Adding to that, don't mention that you're a MGTOW either. Remember the film Fight Club? The first rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club. Many women think that Tom is a pig and won't sleep with you just because you're a Tom's fan or a MGTOW. 21. Christmas, New Year's Eve and Day, Valentine's Day, Thanksgiving, her birthday or yours, these are the days that are off limits. You do not make plans with women you are dating on these days. 21. If you have a dinner date, eat a hearty meal before taking her out. Tell the waiter that you'll just have a salad and tell your date that you're eating healthy. What girl is going to eat more than you? 22. Never do what you don't want to do. You make the money, you decide on what you want to do and where you want to do it. 23. Don't ask a woman what she wants. Women never know what they want. You are the leader every time. 24. No spooning, no cuddling, no staying over. Get in and get out. 25. Don't speak to women you work with unless it is work related. Don't tell them they look nice. Don't comment on anything except on what needs to be done at work. Your conversation should be limited to good morning and good night, with an exception of an occasional good afternoon. 26. Men don't dance. The only exception is if you are gay or Latino. 27. Never compliment a woman. Never. Also do not honk at women. Do not catcall women and do not stare at women. It raises their self-esteem and they will look down on you. Side notes. Hold off on marriage for as long as possible. There is no benefit for a man to get married. I repeat, there is no benefit for a man to get married. If she still insists, dump that bitch. If you do decide to get married, here's a list of your husband's responsibilities and they include but not limited to the following. Number 1. Pay for rent or mortgage. Full or a portion of the house that will be hers in case of divorce. 2. Pay for her credit card bills. 3. Pay for her medical bills. 4. Pay for her dental bills. 5. Pay for the gas she puts in her car. 6. Pay for her car. 7. Pay for her car's repairs. 8. Pay for her childbirth. 9. Pay for child's clothes. 10. Pay for her groceries. 11. Pay for her shoes. 12. Pay for her clothes. 13. Pay for the furniture. 14. Pay phone bill, gas bill, electric bill, water bill. 14. Pay for her traffic citations. 15. Pay for gifts she buys for her own family. 17. Pay for her school loans. 18. Pay for girly things like new carpet, designer mini blinds, wallpaper, new paint, plants, decorations, etc. A woman's wifely responsibilities, on the other hand, require an almost infinitely less expenditure of blood and sweat. Her job is to basically suck and fuck the husband and be nice. A man's ordeal doesn't end there, the load only gets greater. Once a husband makes more money and fulfills all of the above and thinks he can relax a bit, the wife will add more load on which the husband must deliver. Examples are moving to a larger, more expensive house, buying another expensive car, having more children, shopping more frequently, picking up expensive habits like eating out, expensive vacations, visits to the salon, cosmetic surgery, and so on. In other words, most husbands will be chained to the office until they're deaf. And it doesn't end there. Women today are vastly different from their 1950s counterparts. Most wives of 50 years ago expected little from a husband. He just needs to have a decent job and fuck his woman, and most stayed in the marriage for better or worse. Today's female is a totally different breed. Look at the divorce rates. Now if the husband or wife decides to divorce, the husband will pay. After the divorce court, all the husband will own are his shriveled balls and a ton of bills and a bad credit, while the wife will enjoy the house, cars, children, and a pound of the husband's flesh and blood every month, which are alimony and child support payments. Now the husband will never get laid. What woman will fuck a broken down loser with a lifetime of alimony payments? Remember, none of you guys are special, and divorce can and will happen to any of you. So this is essentially the end of the Leykis 101 guide. Obviously I don't agree with everything that Tom Leykis lists in this guide, but it's pretty close to being a great reference for any man who is MGTOW but wants to get laid for almost nothing on the side, without marriage, without being in a relationship, and doing it cheaply or almost for free. If you like this guide and agree or disagree, leave a comment below, as I'm curious to see what my MGTOW brothers have to say.